gamers? Doug here. Today we're going to play some Artist. So Artist is the latest killer, came out not too long ago, and is exceptionally strong. I personally think she's within the top 4, because her ability Dire Crow can give her map-wide pressure, information, and lethality, since it can also wound survivors, creates auras, and just all around is an oppressive tool. This is our build for today. The first perk is Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention blocks off the 3 furthest generators from us for the first 2 minutes of the game. This gives us some information about where the survivors roughly spawned, as the game will try to spawn me the furthest from them. So we can pretty much guess where they're going to be, and based on the generator position, we can determine which way they're probably going to go. So we can then shoot out Dire Crows and get more precise information. The second perk is Eruption, and this is a flex perk. It's not really as necessary, since I mostly just use it for the little generators that have a little bit of progress and aren't going to get hit by the combination of perks that I'll be going over here shortly. But ultimately, this can be any other option. It could be something like Tinker if you want more information and where to shoot a Dire Crow. It can be Ruin if you want more gen regression. But I use it just because I think it can work really well with the combination of Deadman Switch and Scourgehook Pain Resonance. So Deadman Switch, the next perk, says that when I hook a survivor, then for the next 45 seconds, or at least it activates for the next 45 seconds, whenever survivors get off of a generator and stop working on it, it blocks the generator off, so they can't get back onto it until that 45-second timer winds down. So it essentially causes a slowdown because now they can't work on this gen anymore. And it just recently got buffed, so it's seen a lot more play, because in the past it used to be you had to hook the Obsession. Now you just have to hook anybody. And it combos really well with our final perk, Scourgehook Pain Resonance. Scourgehook Pain Resonance causes 4 Scourgehooks to spawn, for the hooks that spawn to be Scourgehooks. And you'll see them as white auras, and when I hook a survivor on that Scourgehook, then the generator with the highest progress will lose 15% of its progress and start regressing. This explosion that happens also causes survivors to scream, letting go of the generator, and I see their aura for a brief moment of time. But because it lets go of the generator, Deadman Switch blocks the generator off. So this combination essentially shuts down that generator for the next 45 seconds. They can't repair it. So if I combo that with the eruption that can happen, with the eruption that causes other generators to progress or to regress, I can basically get a large shutdown. Deadman Switch can also proc on other generators, not just one, so Artist can bully them off of those generators as well. So you could get multiple generators blocked off, and Eruption could give you a lot of information. The 2 add-ons I use are Mataya's Baby Shoes, which says that when a Dire Crow sits in idle, any survivors within 5 yards have their auras revealed for 3 seconds. 5 yards doesn't seem like a lot, but most of your loops, jungle gyms, LT walls, are roughly about 5 yards. So you can actually use that as really good anti-loop, since you're going to get all that information, and it becomes much harder for them to try and mind game you. So it definitely helps with her already really strong anti-loop capabilities. And at worst, you could just drop a Dire Crow in the center and just see if an aura pops up if you've maybe lost them. The second add-on is Severed Hands, and this is probably her best add-on. This add-on allows her to basically swarm different survivors. So what happens is if a survivor is not being swarmed, but they get near a survivor who is being swarmed, then they become swarmed as well. So now you have 2 survivors that are getting swarmed by crows, which is not only information, but also potential wounds or downs. So you only have to fire 1 crow and could have multiple survivors getting swarmed, thanks to this add-on. It's really strong, and it combos really well with the green add-on that makes it so that when they're being swarmed by crows, they're exhausted, so they can't use any of their exhaustion perks like Dead Hard or Sprint Burst. So really strong combinations. If you want, you could replace the shoes with the green add-on. I believe it's called Oh Grief, Oh Love, or something along those lines. But I like the baby shoes because it helps with that anti-loop, And of course, since we're in the middle of an event, our offering's going to be the card, because we want to be a nice guy. Give some blood points, maybe get some cosmetics, have some fun. And in this build, I'm going to try and focus on being more of a nice guy and try not to tunnel, camp, or slug as best as possible, and just be better overall. So this is the build, and that's my favorite skin of the artist. But ultimately, let's see how well this does. I think we're going to do fairly well. And if they don't know how to play against the artist, then it's going to be really, really oppressive. So let's see how this all works out. So let's take a look at it, shall we? So we are in Wrecker's Yard. This is, I think, probably one of the smaller of the Autohaven maps. So this should really come in our favor. There's the three generators blocked by Corrupt Intervention. That center one's probably roughly where they're going to spawn. So I'm going to use that as the basis for my information. But first, during this event, let's go ahead and open up a red envelope. Alright. So now they can get some free blood points because we're a nice guy. Anyways, that center one, I think, is where they spawn. So they're probably on this one here. There we go. So you see that aura there. And then it disappears. That means they've started repelling it. But once they stop repelling it, it comes back. So here she drops the pallet fairly early. And I didn't expect her to do that, so I had to cancel my power. I can still see her aura, so let's try and plant this. So that sound means that 2 people ran by and ate the crows, or at least 1 person did, which means there could be a save coming. Double check. I heard the sound of a firecracker, so they were trying for firecracker blind, but they did not do very well with it. I still looked up just in case, because that's how you can avoid it. If you do get blinded, you'll drop the survivor. Pain resonance causes that explosion, makes them scream, they let go, so Deadman Switch blocks it. That's the combo right there. That generator can't be worked on for the next 45 seconds. And it was the one with the most progress, which is really oppressive. I went to check with Dire Crow, saw nothing, so now I'm going to set a trap. When I position it like that, that distance means that 1 crow will hit and swarm, and then the next one will wound. So I'm trying to hit the person who goes for the unhook. I'm going to whack that to get some eruption. No one shows up, so the Dire Crows go away, but I hear something. Oh, there you are. Hey, Leon. How's it going? I still want to go for this setup, because it still applies pressure. Because usually the someone who's not wounded is going to go for the save. Oh, I must have missed there. But I still want to go back and check to see if there's maybe some signs. I see some scratch marks. And I see someone in the corner. I also heard the generator worked on, but there's an eruption, so if I get it down, I'm good. But who's this? Oh, it's Kate. I really don't want to tunnel, so you lie there and think about what you did. Oh, eruption gave me more free information, because now I know there was a survivor there. Well, let's go and give chase. We'll use the hill to our advantage. Now I'm going to try and set a crow butt. I heard the generator really, really loud. It was progressing. Leon, why didn't you... Leon... I honestly wasn't hiding my Terror Radius or Red Stain. He could have heard me coming. He was probably going to die for that gen, basically, but his Ash buddy left the gen, which slowed down the progress. Scourge Hook, and yeah, I figured that was the one with the most progress. Looks like they finally got the unhook on Kate. Last minute, too. They healed her. So I'm going to apply another eruption on this one. I really want to control this generator because it's in the center. If you have a center generator like that, you can easily establish a 3-gen, which means that if they're down to 1 generator left, they'll have problems. But first, Leon, have a love tap. That's a good boy. I'm going to lay down a Dire Crow in the wide open, see what happens. So he turns sharp left, which means I know he's paying attention. So these Dire Crows are going to have to be for loop shutdowns. I couldn't see if his head was turned, that's why I used the Dire Crow. But there's the down. And here come, I think they're going for an unhook. Yeah, no, I don't think it's worth it. I'll just pick up this Leon. And there's a Scourge Hook nearby, so I'm going to get the information I want anyways. Alright, here we go. Come on, Leon. Let's go up there. Alright. So they're working on that one generator from earlier. Deadman switch goes off. I always shoot a Dire Crow at the Deadman switch generator because I'm trying to make sure that they're not just like standing there waiting for the Deadman switch to wear off, which would be really dumb. I see the scratch marks. That's a wounded Leon. He shouldn't be going for the save, but he's heading that direction. I saw someone in the corner, so I'm going to try and cut him off. Looks like they went up. Oh, I heard him vault that window. He's going to try and go for the save, but I think he fakes it. Yeah. So I'm going to go for the wound, turn around, because I saw the other Leon come in, which was really dumb, because I'm just going to trade here. I'm thinking about trading, but I hear something. I want another save. Maybe I'll lay down some crows for info, and then... Oh, I see Kate. Oh, and I hit Kate. Alright, well, this is good information, honestly. I'm going to go for Kate now, because she's already been hooked. I kind of panicked there, but you can see how there's still an aura, and she hasn't let the crows go, so she's not going to be mind gaining me anytime soon. I do that to fake, making her think that she lost me, and it moves her closer to the corner. Since I saw that the Leon got picked up, I'm just going to dedicate to Kate, but I eat a pallet stun, and honestly, I shouldn't have eaten that one. She stopped moving, which tells me that she was just going to wait at the pallet. So that was on me. But she's not going to survive this one. She got locked into an animation, so she was not going to dodge that crow. I know there's a Scourge hook nearby, so this is a big play here if I can get her on that hook. But this boil over is rough. But let's get her on that hook, and then I'll have plenty of information. And oh boy. So there's no other hooks nearby, and boil over is going to make it hard for me to get her on a hook, so I drop her. I lay down a Dire Crow to see if maybe I'll get some information, because that Dire Crow lets me know if they're like ducking around, but I didn't see anything. So I'm just going to lay a few more to try and get more info, send them out. The hook should have respawned, and there goes a boom totem. So I figured by the time I pick her up and get her to there, it respawns, but she was smart here and moved away from the hook, creating more distance, which means that she was going to get away for free. But that itself was not actually smart. The Leon should have just not done that, because he's wasting time now. He could have been on a generator. There was no way I was not making that hook. Or there was no way I was going to make that hook, excuse me. So he didn't have to sabotage it a second time. The Kate running me here is not a bad idea, since there's nothing over here. It's, running me into the corner. These loops are not great, but she's trying to run me far away and create distance, which is very smart, especially with boil over. I send out the crows to see if I could pick up any information, so that way I have a game plan when I hook her. But I didn't see anything, so let's get her on a hook and we'll start searching. You see this boil over is really wrecking me, so it was really smart of her to try and get distance. In all honesty, if I got stuck a few more times, she would have gotten out. It wasn't a Scourge hook, so there's no slowdown or information, so I'm going to have to go basically start from scratch. I hesitated and didn't lay down the crow fast enough. I probably could have done something about that, even if it was just lay down a Dire Crow to see what direction they go after they finish. I also hesitated there about laying down a Dire Crow for a trap, and they get away for free. But I still see the scratch marks along the wall, so that tells me that they're still moving. And since I don't see any on the ground, it tells me that they're moving to a corner to heal, which can be smart, but you need to move in a better place. I down her because I still don't want to tunnel, and I kind of feel bad. I fake there, he goes up, so I give him a good whack. I fake the crow to see if because the crows cannot go up elevation, so he was going to go. I basically moved him up. I hit him with that one. The aura is still there, but it disappears. But here's his big mistake. He ran me basically next to his teammates who were working on a generator. And that's a big no-no. Don't do this, kids. Anyways, here's a love tap, Ash. Maybe I'll try after you. Well, to make sure he doesn't double back, but I see more scratch marks. So I lay down a Dire Crow that way and that way. I saw he was going to go there, so I let it fly, but I wanted to lay down the other Dire Crow to see if I can hit someone who was healing Kate, trying to pick her up. If someone was going to be dedicated to the heal, they would have eaten a Dire Crow for free. I'm still trying to get used to the aims on these loops, because trying to judge distance is hard, but this is a big mistake here. You don't run straight. You try to give yourself some angles or walls, but do not run straight away from the artist. It's a free hit. Scourge Hook nearby is really good. Causes that one to pop. This is interesting information because there's no one nearby. And that was the one with the most progress. So that means that they're just started working on some other gens. But then I see that. So I go for that. I get both of them with the Dire Crow Swarm. I'm going to hit the Leon here. And then I saw the Ash moving. And then there it is there. But I go for the free down. He wasn't removing his Dire Crows, which is a big mistake. You need to get rid of them. The best thing you could do against Dire Crows is to move in one direction, start to repel them, which would cause the aura to disappear, and then move in another direction. That's a good trick. It feeds me false information. But if you just let them swarm you, then you're giving me free info. I hear the generator being worked on, but it was 0 last time, so I figured there was someone over there, and she tried to hide. I'll give her credit, but it was not very good. I kind of did this one really badly, and I ended up giving up the chase, which was a big mistake. I should have just not done the Dire Crows and just dedicated to chasing the Kate. Instead, I lost the Kate. The unhook happened with no injury or swarm, and all I ended up doing was kicking a generator, applying eruption. Still checking. I think I hear something. Oh, there you are, Kate. I heard you. Eruption for some free regression. No info, though. She went up here probably looking for me to drop down and make a boil over play, but that's not happening. The hook's too close. Bye, Kate. Thanks for playing. Oh, someone's working on that gen. And Deadman Switch locks it. So I let it go. Try to see if I can maybe catch them while they're running away from the gen, but I missed them. But I take note that that was a loud sound notification, and there it is again. That area's a dead zone. The generator's done and there's nothing over there. So why are they over there? I don't see anything, so I check the locker. Vaulting in and out of lockers really quickly causes a loud sound notification. I figured that they're trying to draw my attention so they can work on generators over here. Because this is a really nasty 3-gen, and they're in trouble if they let this go. Because there's that one there by the rocks, then there's that one by the hill, and then there's that other one over there by the machinery. Those 3 are disgusting. I'm going to check this gen, though. I got some value here. 1 crow, 2 swarms. I'm actually okay if they finish that gen, but we chased them off it anyways. And Ash, you poor baby. You need to get rid of Dire Crows as quickly as possible, even if it just means like starting to repel them. Get rid of them. You gave me free info, and it allowed me to just snipe you. I tried for an anti-loop here, but I kind of panic, misjudged the distance. He also had a really good swerve there, so that could have also helped him. But I basically mess up the mind games here, and he gets away. I did that one just in case he vaulted, but instead he held W, which is smart. But right here, he made a mistake. He vaulted that. I left that there on purpose because I could hear in that kind of loop setup, and I chase them. If I hear them vault, I know they dedicated, and I can keep moving. If I don't hear the vault, then I know there's a fake out going, and I would lay down a Dire Crow. Scourge Hook gives me info, and I saw him move to the left, so I'm going to try and see if I catch him. But I don't. I try not to fire 3 crows at once as much as I could. Oh, I got another one with Deadman Switch. So it forced them off that generator with the Dire Crows. So that's 2 generators blocked off with Deadman Switch. And the scratch marks keep going, so I know I should keep heading into this direction. Still a dead zone, so I don't know why they're here. And I don't hear anything. So we're going to lay on Dire Crows. We'll shoot for info and see if the... Yep, there it is. There is a 3-second duration where the aura is still being read, so... I don't know why he went that way. That was a mistake on his part. I wasn't necessarily hiding my red stain, so he should have double backed. But since I get 3 seconds of aura reading with the crows were free info both where I was and across the map. I follow the scratch marks in blood, but I guess I lose track of them. All of a sudden they sort of disappear, and I lost them. I figured it was this boon here, and I thought it was Shadow Step, which hides scratch marks and auras. So I snuffed it out, and then I heard him. And that was him doing his self-care but missing a skill check. Now he's trying to blind me wide in the open, and that's just not a smart play. The second you try and click the flashlight, and I'm just not doing anything, I'm going to look down and avoid it. You should only really use the flashlight when I'm locked in an animation. That's when you get the blinds. Oh, forgot I used that on Ash. Whoops. Oh well, I should be able to get him to this hook here. I don't really care if it's a Scourge Hook or not at this point. We're down to 2 people, and I have a nasty 3-gen. And there's no threat of gens being done anytime soon, so... This one has a little bit of progress, so I'll kick it and apply Eruption. And then I'll lay down Dire Crows for some information, checking the generators that are furthest from me. This kind of gives me a proxy camp because I don't have to go very far away. I don't see the Leon, though. Not much I can do in this situation, so I'll lay down a trap. I'm going to try and see if I can get a wound when he goes in for the save. So again, I lay down 2 Dire Crows, but they are from different distances, so that they'll hit at different times. And then I lay down a 3rd one to eat the cooldown, so that way I get some info. But I let him rip, nothing happens, and the other Leon let him die. So I go up on the hill to see if I can get a good vantage point and hear things. And I hear the hatch. It's nearby. I did not see Leon, so I run over and close it. Sorry, Leon. Well, now we're on a clock. Exit gates are activated. And just in case I have to loop them, I start getting rid of this. I'm going to use my Dire Crow to try and see if I can hit him while he's at the exit gate. I might have off-centered it, because when I let it go, I don't hear anything. But when I look at the exit gate down the line, I see the red light, which means he's starting to turn it, or activate it. Again, different distances, but it completely whiffs. When I get closer, I see scratch marks, which tells me that he's been dodging them, which is really good. He 360'd me here. I kind of got panicked. But I did my best to body block the lever, so that way he couldn't get any more progress on it. Because that alarm sound means he was almost done. The chase continues here, but I don't know why he ran this far out. I guess it kind of makes sense. But he ran back, which also makes sense because if I hit him, he gets a speed boost. So here, I go for a fake out, because if I do this to lock the loop out, he's going to vault and double back. So that's why I did the fake out there. Figured he would vault that. Now I'm going to do this just to see if I can get him in the exit gate, in case I don't get him in time, but yeah. The gate wasn't 99'd or anything, so the Dire Crows were unnecessary. Sorry, Leon. You did really well, honestly. But up you go. Overall, pretty solid game, I think. There was a lot of mistakes on both sides, both for me and for them. But I think overall everyone played really well. We could always celebrate a little bit with the birds, but that's the artist. As you can see, map-wide pressure, knowledge, lethality, it's just insane. Yay, we finished our daily. When we get that, more blood points. And then, because we're good sports, we hit him with the GGs. Like I said, that was a lot of fun. It honestly was a good game. Quad Eerie setup, so we did really well. Let's look at the builds. Very non-meta, honestly. The top one's a pretty typical build of flip-flop, power struggle, tenacity, although there's no unbreakable. He uses self-care, which is interesting. But spine chill, flashbang, smash it? That's weird. Wow. The only meta perk on here really is the borrowed time. This is an interesting build. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that, maybe learned something. If you did, hit that like button and throw it on a comment. Tell me what you think. Maybe there was something I still did wrong, or maybe I did something really right. Maybe you have an idea about what could have been different, and maybe you have an idea about what we could do in the future. I'm going to start doing more of these videos, along with the Mimi sort of videos for fun, but honestly, I'm enjoying this a lot, and hopefully we can become better players together. So with that, I'm going to sign off here on this one, and I'll catch you later.